Welcome back to Ride JBI. I'm JB. This is episode 2 of our JBI Spec WP XACT Pro 8950 Gen 2 kit shock development series, where we give you an inside look at what happens when we decide to develop new products and also continue on our continuous development of our existing settings. So picking up where we left off, we have removed the shock shaft assembly from the shock. Now there's a few other items we need to remove from that shock body in order to work on it. So for now, I'm gonna set this shock shaft aside. Let's rotate this body right side up. Now mind you, again, what I do next will be in our V-clamp vise. You can still do everything with the parallel jaw vise as well. However, I prefer to work on stuff right side up. It's a little bit easier for me to work on and see, and also give you guys a better view of what is going on. Now the next step is removing the high-speed compression adjuster from the shock body. Reason being is that we want to modify the shim stack that is located behind this comp adjuster. In order to do that, there's two different tools we can utilize. At Ride JBI, we use the actual WP branded tool. On the screen, we'll put up what the tool part number is if you want to go ahead and order that exact tool. You could also use just what's called a pin spanner wrench as well. Now, the diameter of these holes are just under 3 millimeters. So if you do get a pin spanner wrench, you want something just under 3 millimeters, so that way they fit snug inside of those holes. Let's remove this high-speed comp adjuster. Now, the reason we're not removing the low-speed one is that there are no shims located inside there, so there's really not much room for modification for at least what we are doing. As you see, I'm still putting some pressure on it. I don't want it to fall out all the way. And then a good move is, let's take this out of the vise and set it on the table so nothing possibly falls out into our oil tray. We'll be able to find it, but if you're at home working on this in the garage, the last thing you want is something falling out and just scurrying away on your garage floor and not being able to find a hard to find. We have the shock inside what is an oven tray we picked up from Walmart. These do a great job of containing oil. They tend to be rust proof as well, and a great way to contain a shock when you're working on it. So first is gonna come out what's called the housing. Next, we want the high-speed spring. This is not directional, so it doesn't matter which way you put it back in. And then after that, there's going to be what we call the high-speed spring plate. And we will remove that with some pliers. We have some cool extended long pliers. Now the high-speed plate is not going to be fixtured or located in there tightly or snug, so it comes out very easily. So you don't need to apply much pressure at all. Now be aware there's usually going to be some shims on there as well, so make sure not to misplace those. And we're going to put that right back into our cage, just how we had it. Perfect. Now we want to get out the shim stack that's located in there. You're going to see the top of a 10 millimeter nut, and we're going to grab the two flat sides with these guys and kind of twist a little bit and wiggle in order to break the seal of the O-ring and get it out. And that is our high-speed piston, along with the valving that is on there as well. We're going to set this right back into the, we'll call it the high-speed clicker assembly, and just set that aside for right now, and then shift our attention to this shock shaft assembly. It's time to mount up our shock shaft assembly back into our parallel jawed vise. Now we got two flat spots located right here at the top. You can mount it there or a little bit lower. I like using this area up here. It's just a little bit thicker of aluminum, and you get a little more of a grip instead of applying all that pressure in this area. As you see, I located the shock shaft in the center of the vise. It's right in line with the, we'll call it the drive of the vise. That gives it a very good clamp, and the vise isn't being offset at all. Sometimes you have to mount stuff on the sides like we did the shock body earlier, but when you can, try to always center stuff in the vise when clamping down. And we're gonna make this nice and tight. So, in order to remove our valving, we need, I believe, a 19 millimeter nut. Let's take a wrench out and see if I remember. In order to remove the valving, we need to remove this 22 millimeter nut. And in my hand, I have a crescent wrench. You can also use a socket on a ratchet as well. And as you'll notice, I did not use this side. I try not to use the, we'll call it the 12-point pattern on anything high torque. If you have sockets, a 6-point socket tends to be more preferred. Now at Ride JBI, we took a bunch of metal hangers, we kind of bent them up, so that way we have a good way of holding shims located right inside the center. Let's start with the bottom rebound shims. Grab those, get those out of the way. Next we do the piston, and then all the compression shims underneath that as well. Make sure there's no existing ones still hanging out on here at the bottom. Perfect. And then we'll clip this like that, so that way it doesn't fall off. We'll set this aside for now. So double check, make sure there's no extra shims floating around on here. You don't want to lose those. Those can be used for achieving different height. This has a bushing inside of here. Please check your bushing. These are colored orange, meaning the Teflon is orange. So if there's any portion of that Teflon you can see through that isn't orange, you're going to want to replace that bushing. Another common feature we see on these shocks is sometimes these become disconnected, meaning this top out spring isn't connected with either this item or this item right here. So if that happens, just reconnect them back together. Another common item that we sometimes see on these shocks is that when this disconnects, this shock top out spring actually breaks, and that's going to be the focus on our DIY kits, is either improving this design or eliminating it altogether. What we really care about for one of our features is longevity of a shock. We don't want a shock that we can't 100% count on not possibly failing. I'm going to leave on everything else here because it is brand new. There's plenty of other videos out there that show you how to remove and replace a shock shield if that is needed. That concludes the disassembly video on how to disassemble the WP XACT Pro 8950 Gen 2 shock. Stay tuned for a future video where we show you how to reassemble the shock. We will be doing it with our JBI Spec DIY kits that are currently in development. We have a separate video series that you can follow along and get an inside glimpse of how we are developing this JBI Spec DIY kit for these WP XACT Pro 8950 Gen 2 shocks.